Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 79 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy. So we have 347, which means we still need 2731. So 23, which leaves 70. And pick up 40, which leaves 750. 2. It probably wouldn't hurt to get a bunch of lights and power poles as well. So let's place down a few panels and see how it looks and works. Before we go out there, though, let's check the status of other parts of the factory. We have lots of stone still. Mineralized water is exactly where it needs to be. Plastic is where it needs to be. We have lots of sulfur now, about 6K. All the lights are green. Well, except that one, but that's not what I was looking at. I think we're good. Looks like the factory's design is quite acceptable. So, how many do we have here? I think we had 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Let's expand it. Let's make this 10 deep. So let's come in here. Remove all the trees that are going to be in the way. And place a few patterns. 1, and 2, and 3. And every pattern we place is going to make our factory more efficient and less polluting. So yeah, the only thing that's not going to really be placed right now are these small panels, because we don't have any. Because we're going to end up picking up a bunch from here. And actually, one thing I can do is pick up one of these patterns just to get the small panels, so we can keep going. So let's do that. So yeah, we're short on mediums already. And they're full already. Got a gigajoule. Oh, looks like it caught up. I guess it was just the robots that were in transit. And we need to move over a little bit and do another set until we run out of parts. Ah, something else I thought of. Before we place anything else, we are probably using coal power to fire these up. Yeah, we are, and that's super inefficient. That's why they filled up so quickly. That's something we need to take care of. There's a fairly easy way to do this. Let's make one extra accumulator. Oh, but we can't because we don't have enough batteries. That's unfortunate. Well, alright, we'll have to remember to make one extra accumulator. So, if you place an accumulator down, you can actually, let's place this here just for giggles, you can attach a circuit network to it. No, it's not going to work that way. Let's put that there. And you can tell it to output the signal, let's say as C for charge. And it'll actually output its percent charge. So we can control something with a random accumulator being used to mark how much power is in the accumulator network, because all the accumulators discharge at the same rate. Now, if you just place them, they might be unequal, but after they've been charged, they all discharge equally. The easy way is to use a power switch. So basically, you would isolate your coal power from everything else and put a power switch here and say, well, if the accumulator gets really low, connect power. But the problem is it's an instant connection. So when you look at your power graph, it'll be like straight and then like up and down very quickly, and it makes this entire graph worthless because of how quickly the graph is moving. So we want something that's a little slower than that. So where does the power actually come from here? I mean, it comes from coal pellets, but ultimately it comes from water. So if we control power to these pumps, we can actually shut off all of these. Now, it'll take a few moments for all the water to run out and everything to turn off. But instead of the graph being it'll just be on and off and on and off. And it'll be gradual rather than... And it'll... I guess I'm not going to do it that way so you won't see, but you'll see what I mean as far as gradual. And as where to connect it, you know, we already have a unique network right here, so we can just connect this. The inserters are irrelevant because there's already fuel inside the boilers. The thing we want to control is the water for the pumps. So let's build our power switch. And let's put it roughly right there. Put that in there and isolate it. So the power goes to the power switch. And then it goes from the power switch to the network. And that is powering the power switch. So the power switch is always powered. It needs its own power, I believe. And now we need an accumulator that is not on this network, but it's on the network of just the standard electricity. So let's plop it. It needs to be close for... There we go. It needs to be fairly close so we can do a signal wire. There we go. That thing's being charged. And now we can have it send its signal in the form of C to the power switch. Now, it's a little confusing because we don't have a power line here. But let's say if we did, just to show you, see how it says C 100%? Because it's fully charged. So that's what this is receiving. And let's say if C is less than, let's say 1%, as low as it can go now. If it's less than 1%, close. And right now there's water and steam in here. You see, these things are completely full of steam, so when this first engages this, it's going to take a long time because you have all this water and steam to clear out, but once it gets going, there's going to be no steam left in this and no water left. So only for the few moments that this turns on, water goes in, fills up, power comes on, this thing starts charging, and then this shuts down. Water runs out, steam runs out, and then power runs out, and it repeats the process. So we'll have to wait till nighttime to see how that works in action. But right now that they're full, they're going to keep running, even though power has been completely shut off to the water. But you see how the water is already running down? It doesn't take very long. And these things aren't even running that hard. You see, they're only running at like 2% maximum power, and it's already sucking the water up. But you can run into a problem. If you set this number too low, it's possible that the factory will completely run out of power and shut off before the water makes its way into steam, which makes its way into the steam engines and actually produces power. So if you find that the factory lights shut off before all of this fires up, then maybe it takes too long. Then maybe set this to 2% or 5% or whatever you think it needs to be. But I'm going to set it to 1 to see if it works at 1. So it looks like nighttime's fairly close, a couple hours away. So I definitely want to be up here to show how that works. But we've got 2.6 gigajoules stored up right now. So let's go pick up some more parts while we're waiting for nighttime. Let's place everything we have in there so it doesn't confuse us. we needed to make one more accumulator to make up for the one we used. So get in there. Okay. 57 medium panels, which means we need 695. And 32 larges, means 38 remaining. And as far as accumulators, let's just pick them all up. We've got about 255. Yep, 255. Which means we need 2476. I'm going to put all this back in my inventory. Oops. It's going to put it in my inventory so the robots don't leave the truck the moment they can. That's what I was thinking. Good enough. Looks like everything's holding up as far as productivity, so it seems like the limiting factors were well considered. Now it's nighttime. But so far the panels are producing enough power and the steam engines are going. The reason why they're going is because they still have steam stuck in them, so they're helping out right now. So in a way, all this steam is a type of battery. Well, like the steam battery over here. It holds a lot of power, so it's going to take a few moments for all that steam to run out before we see the system start draining the accumulators. Alright, now that the steam ran out, now the electricity is being used from the accumulators. There's our total accumulator charge. You can see how the accumulators are providing quite a bit of power as compared to the solar panels. Alright, the accumulators are getting fairly low. See, it's barely 2100 and it's not even technically night and we're already out of power. So you'll see once this number gets very low, this is going to energize, water's going to come in and power is going to start up. And it's only going to do so briefly. There it goes. And see how it started? It stopped. Started, it stopped. Just enough. So if we look at the electrical network to see what this looks like, you can see how we're producing power, and it's turning on and turning off. See how it's up and down, and up and down, this blue. Reason why the power is staying continuous is because the solar panels are still kind of helping a little. And also the fact that it's almost happening to run continuously. Because there's really not that many accumulators. If there's more accumulators, it would stay on for longer and then stay off for longer. But you can see how this graph is nice and smooth. See, that's the accumulator right there. Accumulator's empty, gets charged, it's empty, and you can see how it's nice and smooth. And no crazy graph stuff. And that's all there is to it. Let's pick up another set of supplies. I know I just did. Well, I saw the lights flicker for a second there. Yeah. It's possible that maybe it should be set higher, but I think when we have more accumulators, it's not going to be as much of a problem. And to be honest, the flickering kind of reminds me that this is occurring, so it's not the worst thing. But also, it's not as important because the power for the water pumps and for the inserters for the coal furnaces are separately powered, so they're completely unaffected by all this flickering. 160. So we need 2316. I find every time I come through here, I almost crash into something. Might be worth removing some of these trees to make it an easier path to get through. seems like we're well balanced with plastic, that we're using plastic at about the rate we're producing it. That's actually kind of awesome. So it seems like this setup is well balanced on multiple fronts. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 3 more layers. Looks like we are low on the small panels, so let's remove. Replace that with the upgraded one. So row number 8. Row number 9. Alright, looks like we're out of small panels, but also out of the medium, so that's okay. Lots of accumulators, though. I kind of want to keep placing those accumulators down, because every accumulator we place is going to save us power and save us pollution in the long run. So let's keep placing patterns, even though we don't have the panels for it anymore. But we do have the accumulators. Alright, we're still good for another row. But I believe that is our 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so instead of, since 3 patterns is about the limit of our robots, I'm going to leave a path in the middle, and then we're going to build 3 patterns worth down. Now, we need to position it properly, and we can do that with these power poles. 1, 2. I don't know if that really did anything, but now if we place this right at the limit of the power pole's reach, it's going to be exactly where we need it. We still got accumulators. Let's place them down. And we're finally short on accumulators. So you see it's fully daytime now, and the accumulators are slowly charging. It doesn't look like much, but it doesn't have to be. The solar panels have all day to charge the accumulators, and it's only 9 a.m. And the accumulators are like 15-20% charged, so they should be plenty charged by the time nighttime comes around. So as far as I can tell, the ratio seems decent. Everything is good. We just need to produce a ton more of these. This is going to be a very large farm by the time everything's said and done, but that's kind of how solar panels are. Oh, there's some biters over there. Looks like a pretty big nest. So that's what we're working on now, but there's really no reason that we should wait around for all of these accumulators to be built without further pursuing things on our factory. We're getting pretty close to the point in which we're going to need to expand our factory because there's not a whole lot of room left. But there's still some improvements that can be made while we're finishing up with these panels and finishing up with these accumulators. But unfortunately, that's going to have to wait till another episode because we are out of time. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later.